Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Teen Titans Academy, issue number 1. This is a brilliant plot that I just think tried to do a little bit too much juggling. And there's nothing more messed up than seeing all the balls laying on the ground. Anyway, let's get talking about who made this comic book and we'll go on from there. So we've got Admissions is the name of this issue. Tim Sheridan is the writer. Rafa Sandoval on pencils. Jordi Tarragona on inks. And Alejandro Sanchez doing the colors. Rob Lay on letters. And all three of those previous art type people did the covers. Variant cover out there by Jamal Campbell, and we're going to go on from there. Anyway, this is basically saying that the original Titans, Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Donna Troy, Cyborg, and Beast Boy reassemble to mentor the next generation of heroes. Now, Teen Titans Academy opens its doors to a new crop of gifted youngsters. I wonder where they got that term from. Eager to earn their place on the team's permanent roster. Innocent of the many treacherous challenges they will face in and out of school over the months and in years to come. I think it's a brilliant concept because you've got this gigantic T-shaped tower, and it was just done so perfectly in the beginning. You see this really weirdly shaped girl who there and a whole bunch of other people from a point of view or the point of view of the student, and they're moving across, they're on a little ferry or a boat or whatever, moving across the bay, and all of a sudden through the fog, the Teen Titans Tower appears in front of the big T-shaped thing, and the Teen Titans themselves are on the shore waiting for them, a whole lot more than what they're saying. And this is the Roy Harper Academy, and do and it's like, did you really have to remind us that Roy Harper was killed by what's his name again? I try to block his name, Tom King. Like, do we really, did you have to? Okay, whatever. Fine. Since we lost so many potentially cool heroes, let's do this instead. Some of these characters actually look kind of cool. The weirdly shaped girl is Stitch. There's a thing with her and a thing with a bunch of the other characters here. Listen, this is such a great concept, and possibly the only way that this could have been even cooler is if Tim Sheridan had the either idea or ability and or both to be able to make it so that he created a hero that we are that hero, almost like a choose your own adventure, but actually maybe just do a choose your own adventure like they did in Red, White, and Blood for Carnage this week. But I mean, at the end of the day, whatever it was, this tried to juggle entertaining and responding to Gen Zs with the different pronouns and the different genders, and like at one point, androgynous, non-binary, and there were multiple things like that, and then also kind of lightly making fun of it also. At the end of the day, it's more boring for some and insulting to others. Like it tries to juggle it in a really good way so that everybody can see that it's actually, but that, like, oh, I'm trying to, speak to everybody, but you wind up speaking to no one at the end of the day, because the young kids are going to be greatly offended by this, and the older people are going to say, like, what are you trying to do here? You know what I'm saying? You don't even have the one character in here who's just completely against it all, which, the boomer type character, which I think would have been a fun thing to add, right? Don't do it to Batman. That seems like the most obvious thing to do. But like if Green Arrow were in here and he could be, the guy who's like, listen, I'm kind of on your guys' side, but maybe you're taking it a bit too far. I don't know. It's like, you're a boomer. It's like, how dare you? Like if something like that would have happened, that could have actually been fun. That could have actually made the humor in this book a little bit better, right? God, and just I'm gonna say, even if you threw a Hawkman in this and just, have him like, super serious about everything, and just have more than just the Teen Titans in this. Either way, I feel like this book could have just been so much better if they didn't try and tackle things that, let's be realistic, Sheridan just really doesn't understand. I don't understand. Nobody understands it. Nobody understands, even the people who are talking about it. Nobody understands it. But however you look at it, it is what it is. One of the kids just keeps on bringing up the Red X thing, which is, I don't know, maybe Red X was a bigger deal to some people. I remember the original Teen Titans cartoon. It was freaking amazing. The anime, which was kind of manga-ish, but it's an anime, so obviously it was fantastic. Like I still remember the theme song for the most part. Those chicks were awesome. Those were what a great show. And this doesn't even represent that. I don't know what this is that we're reading. At some point, I just gave up. I'm like, yeah, you introduced a bunch of character, a bunch of first appearances in here. There's Gorilla Grodd, right? So in here, there's Gorilla Greg. Goddamn dirty apes. I feel like this book was. I can understand why this book was made because the pitch is just so perfect, right? Hey, you know how the Teen Titans were always the kids? They're basically the Junior Justice League. What if they opened the doors to train a new wave of Titans, right? What an amazing idea that is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not even that much different than Strange Academy, right? But this just kind of went an entirely different route that, like I said, when you try and juggle too many things, it only takes one misstep for everything to be on the ground. You're just kind of going, oh, and you can't reshoot. There is no edit. There is no recut. It just doesn't work. So no, I'm afraid I'm not going to be reading the next issue of this comic book. Honestly, the only reason why I'd even consider keeping it is because maybe one of these characters becomes cool, but I really just genuinely do not think that's going to happen. I think that all these characters, like most of the characters that DC makes, the new characters that DC tries to make, they're all just going to fall by the wayside. Every single new character that DC tries to make or that they sponsor trying to make, they all seem to just fail miserably. I think Marv Wolfman was actually the last person to invent a new character, create a new character that actually stuck. I think that was actually with the Teen Titans. So, sorry, nice try. Honestly, nice try. But this just didn't work for me in any way, shape, or form imaginable. This was just it was a cheap copy. And we know that Marvel and DC are always copying off of each other. But right now, we're at a stage where every single thing that Marvel is doing is just the absolute best. It used to be there was a nice little wave, like DC does the best animated stuff, but Marvel's doing the best this. And right now, DC's New 52. Oh my God, it's great. And Marvel comics aren't that good. And nope, we're changing that because now all of a sudden this stuff, it sucks. And this stuff that Marvel's doing, they learned their lesson and they're doing better. There's always that. Right now at this point, Marvel is just at the top of the world. And DC, like the best they've got is a Snyder cut, and they don't even want to acknowledge it. So you know what? I tried to give it a shot to go back to doing some DC stuff, and this is what I wound up finding. Ain't no rainbow on this one, and it's just not fun. I don't see this being fun for anybody. Anyway, guys, I tried. Why don't you guys try to like the video? Watch an ad, whatever. I'm out. Talk to you later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.